The following unofficial rebroadcast of Twit Live is brought to you by Odd TV and CashFly. CashFly's global network delivers your content, ensuring your website, streaming media, and downloads exceed expectations at cashfly.com.
Well, it's like, okay.
What does that mean?
What does it all mean?
It's all buttons on this machine. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Hi for the live audience. We're going to start recording pretty soon. Today my guest is Karis Dennison of prajnaconsulting.com. P-R-A-J-N-A consulting.com. And I'll repeat all of this when we're recording.
Obviously, the first rule URL is something that people can remember and spell easily.
It's the hardest thing to spell, I swear to God.
No. That's because it's phonetic.
Nothing is phonetic in English.
Not to mention this is Tibetan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
it means
cool.
compassion based on wisdom. So
That's
not blindly
cool.
doing something good
What a great
for no
idea.
apparent reason. Exactly.
No, but that's a good idea for it. Okay. So,
So, backup audio recording is on, and then did you type in
I'm the TriCaster. I really am not good with lower thirds. I'm really not.
Well, be good. Okay.
She's not.
Type in Prajna Consulting.
P-R-A-J-N-A.
Yep. You got it.
Make her last name all uppercase for some reason you're trying the system.
And it's one N. D-E-N-I-S-O-N.
Yeah, I did one.
You're like the only person that ever gets that right.
Oh, well, gosh.
She's very gifted. I said you're gifted.
Thank you.
Linguistically. You learn French like that.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
So, well, I spent my last year in France, which is why you didn't see me.
That's why I didn't see you. Okay. And I just work with the seniors. So am I gonna? So I'm barely gonna. I'm only gonna see you like one time next year, I think.
I know. Well, I'm a TA. I got selected to be a TA.
Oh,
for
so
health
maybe
and
you'll be. Oh,
wellness.
good. So the sophomore
So-
ones you might be in on.
I'm going to be there for freshmen.
Okay. I don't even know if I go see the freshmen anymore because I see the sophomores so much.
Oh. All right. Fair enough.
Let's
Okay.
change that though.
I know. I missed out on the junior meeting, so.
They're way too quiet to be that far from the mics, so you need to be kind of your dad.
Okay. What do you mean?
Just do an imitation of your phone.
Hi, welcome to Twit.
There you go. See that little line over there?
Yeah, I know.
It needs to be at least like halfway when you talk.
Okay, so I'm going to start now, Colleen.
So we're recording there. You can record here. Record there.
Hi, welcome to Abby's Road. I'm Abby Laporte, the show where we talk about teen issues for teens, parents, educators, and anyone else who's interested. Today we're having on Karis Dennison, and you can see her there.
Hi.
Karis is a specialist. She's an expert in adolescent issues. She's worked with many different schools. She works on issues such as ethics, social justice, and health education. She teaches high school in Marin County, and I'm reading her bio, consults nationwide with schools, businesses, and parents on the interconnectedness of these topics. So I know Karis personally through when she came into my school to speak. And mostly what she talked to us about actually was, she talked a lot about sex education, making good decisions, decisions that you make for yourself and not for others.
Right.
And she also talked to us about drugs and drinking, actually, too. So, first of all, let's start off with, I know I listed what you do, but what is it exactly that you do?
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I do.
Fair enough.
But no, you're right. So half-time I teach high school, and then the other half I work with schools and families and teenagers around issues of, activism, social justice, ethics,
cool.
and human development. So in other words, how do you, I try to get people to validate the conversations that have to do with what teenagers are experiencing outside the classroom, and validate that as just as important as what they're learning inside the classroom, and perhaps even bring some of that into the classroom itself.
Yeah.
So it's not just about algebra. Some of what teenagers are experiencing outside the classroom, I would warrant to say, is as important, if not more.
Yeah, if not more, because if you have an experience that doesn't feel right outside the classroom, you can't even start to focus within the classroom.
Exactly.
As a teen, I can
Oh my gosh.
say that.
Well, you probably know that, right, Abby?
Yeah, I feel like I've learned that lesson, that you have to be very careful about how you're making decisions in your own life, because it really does affect everything else. If you have a bad experience, or if you feel regret for something, and you talk a lot, Karis talks a lot about the keywords, regret, guilt,
And shame.
And
Wow, that's an
shame.
amazing memory, Abby.
yeah.
That was a long time ago that we...
I read your thing, to be fair. I did some prep work. But yeah.
Yeah, and what is really hard is that what I'm seeing, I used to teach English years and years ago, and
Okay.
and what I'm seeing now is this trend that we have all these teenagers who are, graduating with like 4.0 GPAs.
Yeah.
But they're real heavy on the academic skills and the kind of, as we talked about, like the intellectual assertiveness.
Yeah.
But very little practice on how do you make choices that do not end in regret, guilt, or shame, and then how do you define what those are? So.
And it's kind of a strange disconnect, because, like you're saying, there's kids, I know these kids that are so intellectually aware and stand up for themselves and know what they need to do in that part of their lives, but then kind of horribly confused about making choices in other areas and standing up for themselves in other areas of your life.
That's so
Or
true.
of their life.
So true.
And so that kind of leads us, you were teaching English,
Mm-hmm.
and then how did you get drawn to this? How did you start doing this?
Yeah, it's so funny, too, because when I first started leaning towards doing all this, there were very few people said the words human development.
Yeah.
There was, like, health class,
Yeah.
which involved, like, a jock strap and
Yeah.
and a dildo. But then all of a sudden, people would start calling me about 15 years ago saying, how do I do what you do? I'm really interested in what you do. And, and back then there were no degrees in human development or anything like that. So I always tell them,
was a frontier.
you go to college and then you wander around for a while, and then you become a cocktail waitress, and was a wilderness ranger for a while, and then you wander around Asia and start teaching English. And then, so what I did was
Very direct career path.
exactly completely, and I just write it down, and people just follow it word for word.
Good.
So I started teaching English, and I was teaching 8th, 9th, and 12th grade English, and then helping run outdoor programs.
In Sonoma County?
No, actually, this started in LA.
Okay.
And then, much to my dismay, because I was from here, but it was a really prestigious independent school, and and at that point I was, I think, 25 or 20. No, I was 26, and but I started noticing that a lot of people can teach English well.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a lot of my students, a lot of what they were experiencing, and that were really where they were really learning and asking to learn, it was happening in between classes or on
interesting.
the outdoor trips, or I was coaching too, or it would happen out in the court, and that they really wanted to have these conversations and really lacked